my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book related things. And today I'm going to be talking about the books that I highly recommend for Summerween. What's my tripod doing? It's sliding down. It's been doing this for weeks now. I don't know. We're not going to fight it because I've been trying to film this video for like 2 weeks. Which, also, if you didn't know, I'm a mom.
I'm a mommy.
Mommy?
I'm a mom.
Mamacita.
No, I'm a mommy.
I'm a mother. That's why this part of my body is blurred out, because my child is currently on my body asleep. You might also hear him intermittently. I'm sorry in advance. You know what? He get educated on some really good books. I am giving these recommendations saying that I have read all of them, while I may not have read them recently. There's a couple of them I read as a teenager, though. At least one that I read as a teenager. So I will be splitting them up into 3 categories that I just thought were kind of funny, because that's just kind of how things played out. We will be talking about going to camp, campy books, and then just generally what the fuck books that also still kind of give me a summer vibe. So Summerween is like Halloween meets summer, spooky summer, you know? So yeah, let's go ahead and start with Let's Go to Camp. First up, we have Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. This is a horror book about conversion therapy camp, because of course it is. Something funky happens to the children who go to this camp. They get real fucked up. They come back and they're fine, quote unquote fine, but something really secretive and weird is happening. Paranormal, some might say, in order to convert these children to be straight. You know, massive trigger warning. Please read at your own risk, and that's going to go for most of these books because it's horror. Apparently nobody wants me to film this video today. Hi. You gotta move, my love. Please go get in your bed. Nobody wants me to film this video, apparently. He doesn't want a nap somewhere else. Tybalt wants to block the whole camera. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, the next one. Sorry. Next up, we have a young adult book called You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kailyn Barron. I love Kailyn Barron's writing. I don't know how many horror books she's written. This is, I think, maybe a couple, because before it was a lot of fantasy retellings. This book is about Chastity Curtis, who is working the summer job of her dreams, playing the final girl at Camp Mirror Lake. Guests basically pay to be scared in a full contact terror game. And Charity and the summer crew recreate scenes from a slasher film called Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. The more realistic the fear, the better for business. But coworkers start disappearing and one ends up dead, so Charity's role as the final girl becomes really real, really fast. Charity and her girlfriend hope to survive the night, and they'll need to figure out what the killer is actually after. I really enjoyed this book. I thought, if I remember correctly, the ending felt a little too tidy for me for a horror book, but I really enjoyed it, so highly recommend for a young adult book especially. Next up, we have The Lake House by Sarah Beth Durst, also a young adult book. This book is about Claire, who has kind of worried about everything with worst case scenarios and that kind of thing. She counts her steps, she triple checks locks, second guesses everything, kind of, I would say, maybe OCD-like. Then she arrives to an off-grid summer camp and finds the blackened burned husk instead of a lodge, with no survivors except for her and the other late arrivals. The 3 girls then find a dead body in the woods, and they realize that none of this is an accident. Someone is hunting them, and that something or someone is refusing to let them leave the weird woods. I think I read this as an advanced reader copy, if I remember correctly. So those are going to be our 3 camp-related books. Let's talk about books that I consider campy. Like, not necessarily like spooky, but like fun, if you like horror. First up, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer by Lois Duncan. Now, these books, I haven't read them in a long time. I'm going to be rereading them for a video later this summer, but they were my favorite books. And there is more than one. And also, I watched the movies for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed them. I thought they were really solid. So this book is about these 4 teens who hit somebody with their car after they're drunk, and the person dies. They leave the body behind, they call the police anonymously, and they move on with their lives, or they try to move on with their lives. They basically decide, like, they're not going to tell anybody, they're going to keep it a secret forever, but then one of the girls receives a note that says, I know what you did last summer, chaos ensues. If you've seen the movie, it's pretty much the same, but still a fun book. I remember reading it, and it was one of the first horror books I ever read as a kid, and I was like, I need to consume every single thing that this author has ever written, ever. And then I think I did read a lot of Lois Duncan after that, so. Next we have Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. This is, and I probably said that wrong, I'm so sorry. This has a movie that came out, and the movie is also campy and terrible, and I fucking loved it. Children of the Corn vibes, campy and terrible. I enjoyed it deeply, though. This book is about Quinn and her father, who moved to this tiny town that has a fuck-ass clown for a mascot. Already bad news. Already bad news. They are looking for a fresh start, but the town of Kettle Springs is not a great place to live, but that's where they live now. The kids in the town are crazy. They do pranks and terrible things and terrorize the entire town just for like clout and to post online. It's weird, and so all the adults hate the kids and all the kids hate the adults. And then all of a sudden these clowns pop out of nowhere and decide to kill all the teens. Crazy, crazy work, truly. No, we have two more books in this category. We've got This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. There was a pathogen that released that basically made a bunch of people kind of become zombies. They can only function off of eating the flesh of other human beings. But then they made up a synthetic version of human meat, and so those scary creature people were fine and got to live in society like everybody else. So four girls are all goals, and they are going to go to a music festival. They're going to a music festival with their synthetic skin, and they're ready to go. They're ready to have a blast. Except that all of a sudden, one of the girls goes completely feral and eats a boy, and other guests start disappearing, and it turns out that someone is drugging the ghouls and making them turn feral. And so they got to figure out how to stop it so that, you know, they can survive this music festival. It's Fire Festival, but like with zombies. Next up, and last on this list, we have My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is like set in the 80s. I fucking love the cover of this book so much. I adore it, truly. And it is essentially about Abby and Gretchen, who've been best friends since 5th grade. But then when they get to high school, Gretchen starts acting fucking weird. Abby thinks that Gretchen is possessed, and so she hires an exorcist. This exorcist is like an evangelical bodybuilder. I truly don't know how to explain that if you don't know that culture, but it's like an evangelical bodybuilder, if I remember correctly. And he goes to help save Gretchen, and things get real fucked up. Is the power of friendship enough to save someone from the devil? That is what we aim to find out with My Best Friend's Exorcism. There's also a movie of this. It sucks, don't watch it. I don't recommend the movie. And in our next category, which I have lovingly labeled, Hey, What the Fuck? Which I think is a really good way of labeling this category. First up, we have Empty Heaven by Freddie Kolsch. I read this book, I think, last year, and it was one of my top books last year. It is giving that one episode of Over the Garden Wall where they, like, worship the pumpkin guy, and also, well, what else did I say it was giving? I want to say Children of the Corn, but that's not right. Something else. There's another like book, movie, something that it also gives. Darian is haunted by a monster that claims to love her. She goes and stays in this New England village and spends summers with her 3 best friends. But she surprises all of them on Halloween and basically learns about this weird ass cult that good Arcturus is the god, and they worship him and they do things for him, and it gets really fucked up really, really fast because she's realizing that everybody that she is friends with during summer might actually be kind of brainwashed, and they might be freaks. And so that is the book. That is essentially, I'm not going to spoil anything, but that is, yeah. Then we have Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This is one of my all-time favorite horror books, actually, in general. You go from writing Perks of the Wallflower, like this contemporary YA book, and then move into writing this horrifying, horrible book. It is a massive undertaking of a book, so I will give you that fair warning, but it is truly incredible. Kate Reese is on the run, trying to improve the life for her and her son Christopher, so she flees an abusive relationship and just finds herself in this tight-knit community. Christopher and his friends start building this fuck-ass tree house because some voice is telling him to do it. The voice is starting to tell him, like, no, you can't even sleep. And then You know, the voice is also telling him if you don't do it by Christmas time, everyone in town and your mom might not ever be the same again. So it's all on you, little guy, small child. So no pressure, no pressure. There's like demons and devils and hallucinations and children doing creepy children things. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And last but not least on this list, we have When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I do love me some Nat Cassidy for sure. I don't necessarily know that this is one of my favorite Nat Cassidy books, but it's definitely up there. This book is about Jess, a struggling actress who just like finds this 5-year-old hideaway. He's like run away from everybody, seeing he's hiding in these bushes outside his apartment. So she has him come home with her because the father has like, they have this like crazy bloody encounter where the dad turns into a werewolf. What the hell? Yeah, he turns into a werewolf. Then things are not quite, it's a little bit more than just a werewolf. There's a little bit more to that. How did he become a werewolf? Those kinds of things. What's going on with the boy? Why is the boy kind of a fucking freak? He's kind of a freak. Government experiments, crazy. That's as much as I can tell you without spoiling the book, but I highly recommend it. And these all give summer vibes to me. I could be wrong. You could disagree with me. And then you would be wrong. No, I'm just kidding. These all give me summer vibes. I personally really loved almost all of these books. Some of them I just like kind of liked or remember fondly, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but these books are truly fantastic and I highly recommend them. They give summer vibes, so I hope that you get to read at least one of them this summer and I hope that you enjoy it. That's the video. If you plan on reading any of these or if you've read any of them and you agree about the vibes, let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, except for the first full week of the month, so I will see you later on this week. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves, like hire a bodybuilding evangelical person to exercise your best friend because she's different because of puberty. I don't know. Okay, thanks, bye.